Hi, Dipali.
Hi, Shagun. How are you?
Very good. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Within the limitations that you have, and been working since
Yes,
9 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah.
yes, I know. So, well, thank you everyone for joining. I am going to introduce our guest for today, Dipali Goenka. Dipali is the CEO and joint MD of Welspun India. And those of you who haven't heard of Welspun would definitely have heard of Spaces, which is a Welspun global brand, which was started by Dipali herself. And Welspun is a global business multinational in the space of textiles, steel, and energy, and Dipali is at its helm. A little bit more about her. She's an accomplished business leader. She's known for her dynamism, her entrepreneurial spirit, and passion for people. And she has driven the growth of Welspun's home textile business. She was recognized as the 16th most powerful woman in Asia and the fourth in India by Forbes in 2016. And she has a very strong focus on women empowerment and has undertaken some very significant initiatives to promote skill and entrepreneurship development in local communities that she works with. She's also the chairperson of the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industries Women Council, and she's on board at the consumption platform at the World Economic Forum. Dipali is also mom to two grown-up daughters. And today we're going to talk about how she grew from someone who was married early, had her kids very early, was not professionally qualified, to someone who's now leading so successfully such a large business enterprise in a male-dominated business. And earning accolades for it. So what has the journey been like for her? And apart from just her professional achievements, which we're well aware of, what has it been like for her personally? You know, how has she grown into herself? How has she grown in confidence? How has she grown as a leader? Because there are lessons there that are applicable to all of us from that. Having said that, let's start. And please ask your questions. And I will be making a note of your questions, and I will be addressing them to Dipali, as and when I think we have the right moment. So, Dipali, tell us about your journey. Tell us about your early years and how you started.
Shagun, you can say the question again because it just buffered a little bit.
It slows for a bit? Okay, no problem. I was just saying, tell us about your early years. I know you got married very early. I know that the time around your marriage was not the easiest time for you. There was a lot of loss around that time. So tell us about how it was in the beginning, and then how eventually, after your daughters were older, you started taking up work at Welspun.
So it was a time, Shagun, I started, I got married at the age of 18, and my father wasn't well, and my mother felt that one of the siblings had to get married, and that's the time. So it was, it just happened, and destiny, I guess. While my daughters were growing up, I felt I was committed to be at home and take care of them, because I think mother is the biggest central character to take on and balance the kid and give the culture that is required. So that's where I really spent that much time with my daughters. When they were 10 and 7 is the time, Shagun, when I thought that I needed to do something. My mother has been my inspiration, Shagun, and she
Mm-hmm.
has been, when even my father wasn't. In fact, we never had tuitions. She basically took care of our classes, studies, everything. And so I've seen her, and she was still working. So that's where it just
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
And the hunger to do something was there. So that's the time when my daughters turned 10 and 7, Shagun, was the time.
Sorry, it froze just a little bit, but I think what you said
Yeah.
was that when they turned 10 and 7 is when you actually joined. And I know that you joined initially for some admin related work, right?
Yeah.
And then you took on more and more responsibility. So tell us about that journey.
Yeah, because Shagun, when it was, I started in my office, and even from today till today, it's a very kind of a professional environment, professional kind of a decorum that is maintained. Being the boss's wife is not something which runs in my favor at all. So I was something, when I said that I have to come, I want to do something. So, okay, come, but this is what it is going to be. You'll be working in the kind of bound.
Guys, can you hear her, or is it just me?
Andheri. And it was the time where my the girls are very young. I would let them, I would wait for the carpool, send them off, go to work, leave from here at around 8 o'clock, be there by 9, and come back and again take up their studies and be around with them. So that's where my journey began, actually, after that too.
And did you, in the beginning, did you feel not confident enough to, because you didn't have professional training, you didn't know about the business, you didn't come from that background. So how did you feel in the beginning? And how did you, take it on yourself to learn and grow in
Shagun,
that process?
if you always think that you're a student and you want to learn, I think that's what just keeps you going,
Hmm.
and that's what did actually for me. And even when 2003, after I launched my brand Spaces, I took a giant leap and went to Harvard to do my
Right.
OPM. So you have to constantly evolve and constantly get out of your comfort zone, and that has always been a case with me. Um, you you know the self doubt will always be there. We are human beings by the end of it. So
Yeah.
so I think I always feel that I'm a student and I will make a mistake, and I'm a human being by the end of it. So I will continue to make a mistake, but I learn out of it and make the most of it.
Yeah, and I always wondered because did people around you think of you as the boss's wife, and therefore did they treat you any differently? And did you have to therefore work extra hard to prove yourself and be like, I'm here because I deserve to be here and not because of who I am?
So for me, it has always been that I would be, I would maintain. I would be in the office by 9. I would have
Okay.
to work extra hard, Shagun, so that
Hmm.
I maintain the commitment, and also like what people observe you as. And I think that's where I think I took myself as a professional. I took myself as a professional that this is the commitment I'm giving. And if I am spending that much time leaving my
Yeah.
home, my children at home, I better give it my best and
Yeah.
do what it takes. And that's what
Yeah.
I've done, I think, and I continue to do. So whether it's a 9 to 9 or working overnight or traveling at the drop of the hat to anything, it's a commitment I've given. And if that commitment is, then I better deliver 100% to it.
Yeah. And did you find how was it like, because you were working with your husband so closely, how was the relationship at work versus the relationship at home?
So, question, and a very difficult one at that. Initially, it's a tough one because there is that, relationship that you have at home, and there's a relationship. You got
Yeah.
to draw your boundaries. You got to have your
Mm.
boundaries there. And I also understood after some time, Shagun, it was difficult. Initially, it was definitely difficult for me. I mean, I must tell you that. But you have to draw your boundaries because, see, by the end of it, if the boss, that the chairman has some kind of expectations, it's not out of me. It would be anybody else who would have been in my position or out of the company that I manage. So I think I
Yeah.
have to give that kind of a perspective from the professional hat. So and that's what I did, Shagun. So difficult at that what it was, but I think if I look at it from a different perspective, I'm a professional. I'm working in that kind of a capacity, so I better deliver on that.
Yeah, yeah. And also textiles is a very male-dominated industry. So how did you carve a space for yourself in a space that was male-dominated? And also, what was it that you brought to that space that only a woman could have brought to that space?
So textile is male dominated, definitely. I had to work to understand what a yarn is, what cotton is,
Mm.
how the manufacturing works. I didn't know that, being very honest about it. And I will still say that I'm continuing to learn. Though I just went all out to learn what I had to, and I will continue to learn, you know. You're a student for life.
Yeah.
But you know the interesting thing. So when I came on board, I was very apprehensive. I don't know this. What will happen?
Yeah.
But I had to also see what I brought to the table, because since
Yes.
I was working as you know, in spaces, I had the consumer perspective. And being a
Correct.
woman, I think being a woman, I'm the consumer. I'm the
Yeah.
consumer of my product. So what
Yeah.
is the nuances? What is that sensitivity that the consumer needs or expects? And more so, my customer on the other side, the merchandiser, is also a woman mostly. So
Hmm.
that just brought everything together, Shagun. And the whole thing, I mean, I will also tell you, in the era even today, where artificial intelligence, virtual reality will be ruling, lot of, you know, the IQ bit will all be outsourced. What
Yeah.
remains with the human being is the emotional quotient. And that's
Absolutely. A
what is going
machine
to be
cannot.
very, very
Yes.
important. And
Yes.
whether it's your or your sensitivity, those are the things that you bring on the table, which are very, very important and special. And I feel that's what I brought on the table. More so, when I got on board, there were only 7% women. And
Okay.
today, and today at Welspun, we have around 30% women, and we are aiming
Yeah.
to grow higher.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
actually brings the balance, and also kind of a difference in the thinking about in an organization.
Absolutely. And, also in 2016, there was a crisis situation. There was bad stress around Westbund. There was some, damage to the business. So that was a crisis situation for you, right? So as you stepped out of that, tell us about what your learnings from dealing with that crisis were, and how did it impact you? How did it make you feel?
You know, I always feel adversity teaches you what you never learn in an university, and I learned a lot. And you know, everybody asks me, what was it that got you out of it? First of all, I led it from the front. As a leader, you got to lead it
Hmm.
from the front. Be very communicative. So I was at the drop of the hat. I was in front of all my customers the next day,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that was very, very important. Secondly, I think also very, very importantly, being very transparent about what we do, communicating
Hmm.
with your teams, giving them the confidence. And also during adversity is the time, the innovations are born. And that's where actually our whole solution of traceability was born.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can say now, 4 years down the line, our company is far more stronger. Our people are far more resilient. Our people
Hmm.
are thinking differently. And I think it wouldn't have been if this, it was a very bad thing that can happen to an organization. But I think my teams have learned a lot. My teams have also learned to take on a lot of challenges, looking at different ways of doing businesses.
Right. And how did you feel when that happened? Did you feel scared, or was it also sudden that you were like right in the middle of action and you didn't have time to actually, process out? What was it like for you emotionally?
It was tough, Shagun. Being very
Yeah.
honest, it was something where you feel that the ground has shifted from your feet, under your feet.
Yeah.
Definitely. But then at the same time, I had 25,000 people working with me at my
Yes.
factory. I
Yes.
had I mean, only thing I could think about was my people, and how what I'm accountable for. Accountable
Absolutely.
for my factory, my people, my stakeholders, and my commitment, so, and my customers. So that's what I just took on and just moved ahead. And that's where, and it gives you strength. The only thing, Shagun, I've learned, and I'll constantly, even when I go into a meeting till today, it may be a tough one or a platform where they're like, big, stalwarts and there. I always believe that, okay, I believe in myself, and I'll give it what it takes and give it my
Yeah.
best. And that's the
Yeah.
only way I start my day till today, or do whatever I do.
Wonderful. Also, you have two grown-up daughters. So tell us a little bit about, how your relationship is with them. Are you their role model? Uh, you know, uh, do you lead by example? What is that like?
You know what? I can handle everything except those two girls of mine. The biggest critique of mine, biggest. Oh my God, mom this and mom that. And seriously, since I was 19 when I had my older daughter, and
Yeah,
my younger daughter when I was 23, so practically they've grown up with me. So
yeah,
they are more like my friends. And I mean, we share our clothes, we share a lot of, kind of things together, like dancing, fun, everything, exercise, gym. So the interesting thing has been that, be their friend, be their confidant, so that they can share everything with you. And that's where it has been with me, Shagun. Though I can also say that I've not been a perfect mother. I mean,
yeah.
definitely
No,
because
I don't
work
think any mother can say that. Yeah.
work has demanded a lot from me also. And but I've tried my best. That's what I'll say. But yes, uh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I know. And they are both on their journeys. One of them is working with you, the other has her own entrepreneurial venture. So, what is your advice to them? What do you tell them?
I will tell that to them and to everybody. Whatever you do it with passion and love. Do it with everything what it takes. It's then your baby. Give it all it takes, because without that, Shagun, nothing will get achieved. I mean,
Yeah,
for me, if somebody even tells me that, Dipali, do you go out, or do you go out on holidays? Your work should be something that you should enjoy, and not feel that you are at work ever. And that's what it is all about, doing work, Shagun, because you should enjoy doing it, every minute of it. You should be dreaming about it. And if
yeah,
you have that passion, that's where it is. You'll achieve what you
wonderful.
dream about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And also, we had that whole video that went viral, right? With you dancing in the office. Guys, you've all seen the video, say yes if you have. So tell us how that happened. Was it spontaneous? How did that, and it suddenly went viral, and my family was forwarding me the video, and I was getting it from 4 or 5 different places. Tell us about that, and how was that experience for you?
No, it was completely spontaneous. It was at my factory, and at Vapi, and we have a shared service team there. And they are a team of techies and young kids. And, we were I just gone to say hello to them. And we were just announcing a few things and important things. So, so it was like, ma'am, let's celebrate, and we want to do something. So I said, okay, then put on my music, and we'll do some kind of a flash mob. And that's what we did. Um, and it was fun. And I always feel I continue to do. I mean, for me, we celebrate birthdays. We have a birthday celebration every month. So something or the other happens. I mean, doing a plank with your team, or so that was just a coincidence. But I would love to do that, honestly, because see, work is something where it is stressful as well. Sometimes it is, but make the most of it and have fun while doing that. I think it's very important.
Yeah, and I also felt when I saw the video that in some ways it is reflective of your style as a leader, because it is a leadership style that is not afraid to be vulnerable and to show the other side of the personality, and that you don't feel that, oh, you have to present this stern authoritative face all the time in order to be taken seriously. You have to be confident as a leader to be able to do that. And I don't see men, I can't somehow see a man doing that. So I think it was such a beautiful leadership thing to do as well, and it made everyone just feel warm and
Shagun, I feel we all are human beings, and I think
yeah,
I'm not different from my team, and I'll be equally vulnerable to a lot of things, and we all are, right? So I think as leaders, we have to show that side to our teams as well, so they can connect and work with you. It's very
yeah,
important, Shagun, and I
yeah,
I truly believe in that. even to that perspective in the terms of like even accepting my mistake. And I will have my moods because I'm a human being as well. So
Yeah.
uh, that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. And guys, I am surprised that I don't have more questions. I need you to ask more questions because we are not going to get this opportunity again and again. I have one question that I'm going to take up, which is what is the biggest challenge faced by you in the retail industry?
So in the retail industry, I think, I mean, if I talk about India, I think I will take up India. India actually is a very fragmented market right now. And to look at actually selling in this market and to strategize, because you
Mhm.
are competing against the unorganized market. And also, it is an evolving market. Education is very neat in this market. So that's where, the whole dynamics prevail. But I think I've seen something right now, Shagun, with the whole COVID thing. Uh,
Yeah.
Everything has got digitized. So more and more, the advent of e-commerce will become very, very. That'll take on the center fold of a lot of things. So you will see a kind of a very different omni-channel that will prevail in this country, which will be kind of whole digitized bit, a combination of mom and pop stores, the organized retail like the Shopper Stops and the Lifestyles of the world, and e-commerce and the omni-channel, and something like the channels that will go in and penetrate into the tier 2 and the tier 3. So you are definitely going to see a very different space right now. So the accessibility will be far more easier, and
Yeah.
you see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, finally, thank you for asking your questions, everyone. I think I think some people were intimidated. Don't be. So uh, I have many questions around how the lockdown is affecting the business, and how do you see the future going forward now that we are in this situation and in this crisis.
I think it's tough for everybody, Shagun. And really, I mean, for us, where you see 90% of our businesses globally, in United States, UK, Europe, and everywhere. First of all, I think in it is, we have learned to work digitally. We have learned to work, virtually, and all our teams are completely connected. That is something that is what we are doing. And also, I think let's accept it that it's not going to be the same. The world is not going to be the same after
No.
this. Everything has changed. That is definitely going to be very, very prominent as we go forward. While we speak, my teams have been working, to do a lot of research and development about what are the kind of products and hygiene, like antimicrobial, antiviral, or like
Mhm.
something like that, which is wellness. These are the kind of products they have already worked and developed, and they are having virtual meetings with our customers.
Okay.
One more thing is that we have a sister company where we reusable masks, and now very soon the N95 masks we are going to be doing. We are going to do disinfectant wipes. So I think the important thing is that we have to continue to reinvent, and I think this is an
Absolutely.
opportunity. Either you take it as a thing that okay, now what do we do, or recreate and reinvent yourself, and that's what we have done, Shagun, here.
Wonderful. I think there's someone from Welspun who said that they are very happy with the way Welspun's been supporting its employees during this time. So I just wanted to read that comment out to you. And lots of people who are telling me that you are an absolute inspiration.
Oh,
I Another question I have is that in the times we're living in, how do you see your company leading with empathy?
that's going to be a core value, and that's going to drive us well. We are because of a people, Shagun. So empathy is definitely going to be a very important part of what we do, and so that's the only way we'll be, moving towards whether it's going to be a communities where we are working with. or our initiatives on education, or sanitary napkins, which we know our entrepreneurs sell, and they also influence their peers to our people. That is always going to be very. Along with that, I think, Shagu, an important thing for our teams and our employees would be the accountability, the way we are going to drive this forward. That's going to be a very important way that. Uh, so one aspect is, okay. How are we organization looking at us, and I think what are we doing together to make things happen. I think that's what is going to be driving as we go forward.
Wonderful. I now suddenly there is a whole flurry of questions. Okay, so how should young entrepreneurs use this time as a learning to grow?
Lot of learning, and I think in fact I will share, Shagun, we at Welspun are doing a lot of webinars, lot of
Hmm.
e-learning is happening. So this time I think this is the time to upgrade your digital skills, upgrade a lot of things that you can learn on analytics, learn on for me, I think the important thing for my teams, I will tell you, who have been used to selling on brick and mortar, how are we going to sell on the digital platforms? How are we looking at the SEO, SEM? You guys are familiar to it, but this is the time you can upgrade your skills,
Yeah.
upgrade, and learn the new age, the new way of doing businesses, a new way of everything, what it is. Along with that, in fact, learning on the other aspect would be the softer skills, like
Hmm.
there are a lot of kind of opportunities for you to take on, maybe music, maybe cooking, because
Yeah.
I feel that relaxes you as well. So I think it's a balance of both. But I feel this is the opportunity for people to grow and learn. And I must share, we at Welspun are doing a lot of those things, and it's really fun.
Hmm. Wonderful. Another question I have is, you have been so vocal about your CSR activities for women. What's your inspiration?
Uh, I'll tell you one thing. In 2001, when we were setting up the Anjar plant, we realized that businesses can be done by everybody, but then can businesses be the agents of change?
Hmm.
And that is what is very, very important, where you bring your community together, you bring your organization together. I think that's very, very important. And secondly, and I think above all, Shagun, for me, having two daughters and being a woman, I realized, even in kind of an evolved community that I was, I feel that a woman is still struggling with her own validation, and
Yes.
and I think I realized that what would be happening in the backyards of a country where the maximum of the populations lives, and that's where we started thinking about how do we educate our women, how we empower our women. So because if we empower them, the child will go to school. Believe me, it's the mother and the woman of the house who can really impact the society, the family, and also the
Yeah.
society. So if we
Yeah.
can do that, is where India will progress. And that actually was a very important part and an important thread for me to take this forward. The woman and the girl child. A lot of
Hmm.
times, the girl child contributing to our economy. We'll grow by, our GDP will grow by around 1.7% to 5%.
Yeah. And that's why they have that saying, you educate a girl, you educate her family. Similarly, you support a girl or a woman, you support their entire family. There's many, many questions around sustainable development. So I'm going to ask you that question, 4 or 5 questions around that.
Yeah.
So just your views on sustainable development for the textile industry.
So I'll tell you one thing first of all. I think we've really abused the planet Earth, right?
Yes,
And
we have.
today, if you go on the terrace and see, the sky looks far more bluer.
Yeah.
The temperature is far more cooler, despite we are in April. So I think as an organization like us, we have a kind of a commitment towards where we need to look at. And I think textile has been the biggest polluter,
Yes.
if you look at it, the
Mhm.
landfills and everything. So what are we doing there? Importantly, so I think we've created an environment of sustainable development. First of all, the water that we use in Welspun City, 30 million liters of water that we recycle. Not even a drop of fresh water is used there, Shagun. So in
Okay.
fact, we take the water from all the sewage around, the communities, recycle that and use it for our operations so that the farmers get water for irrigation, and
Hmm.
there's potable water. That is very, very important. Cotton, better cotton is something, is an initiative that we've taken, and we have these kind of programs, running across in Gujarat and Maharashtra, where we have these apps which we give to the farmers. They get educated about what kind of soil they should be using, what kind of seeds they should be using, and the quality of water. So that is something that we're taking on. And the whole circular economy will be very important to what we do. So I always tell my teams that our story will start from the scrapyard, where the
Mhm.
plastic waste is. How can we go back and find its way back to the packaging?
Yes.
Imagine if these kind of boxes lie in front in the retailer stores, and the consumers can drop in their old towels or sheets. We can take it back, break it up into hard waste, and again it finds its way back into the our towels or sheets. Is
Yes.
something that we are working on. So
That's amazing.
I always say that it's not about a product that you're creating. You're creating an environment of sustainability, and that's the
Correct.
only way it will work. That's the
Correct.
only way it will work. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'll
often,
also share. I'll also share
yes.
one more initiative that we do in our communities. It's a little brand called Spun, and where we're upcycling around 2 tons of our rags that our sheets and towels generate. So we are making rugs and cushions out of it, and these are made by the women in the communities. So they
Right.
can come and work, and they earn the little living there too.
Right. And they are community leaders in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. You know, I have, okay, advice for young entrepreneurs. Lots of young entrepreneurs want advice. So, what would you say to a young entrepreneur?
You know, I will just tell everybody that if you have a dream, just follow it. But do it with passion and commitment, that you feel that this is it, that it's going to be for you, and just go all out on that. There will be a lot of ups and downs, but don't be disappointed and don't give in. Just
Yeah.
continue. Just
Yeah.
continue. And I'll tell you one thing. It's the journey that matters. It's not the destination. So continue with it. And I mean it, because you can see me. I mean, I'm being very honest. For me, I tell my daughters as well. I said, guys, you studied in the best of institutes, and look at me. Come in, got married, and had a dream that I want to work, and that's where I started working. The only thing that I started one was that I will not give up. जो भी चीज
Hmm.
करूंगी, I will just follow it up and do it till the end, and don't give up. And you will find solutions. That's what I will say. So continue doing that, and believe in yourself. That's what I truly do myself too.
Wonderful. Dipali, if you had to say something to your younger self, what would that be?
Um, it would be to yeah. I would have I wanted to do a little. I wanted to study more, actually,
Hmm.
Shagun. That was something that I really miss out on. And that's where still have that kind of a thirst to learn and constantly evolve, is something that I still have a desire to do, and I continue will do. Um, um, and I imagine, dancing to my heart out, because I love dancing. I'm a classical dancer, classically trained. So would have I would love to do my, if I can do my Aran Getram, would be something.
Yeah.
And just get my child out, I think, and enjoy all the small things in life, which, you know, with work pressure, sometimes you cannot.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. I love that thing about, letting your inner child out, because I think we all sort of
Yeah.
start hushing the little child and, putting it away, and then we lose the joy and the fun of life. Uh, okay. Um, Another question around how you manage your time on work and personal life.
Yeah, that's you know, I've learned something, Shagun, that, you know, when you have lot of things to do, and the people who have lot of things to do will find time to do everything,
Yeah.
because you will have to plan yourself. So your calendars will have to be planned in advance, and I think that's where I think we all need to do. And that's, I mean, today also in this lockout, I will tell you, I wake up in the morning and I work out in the
Hmm.
morning too. So I do a video call, and I train in the morning. Then I get to work at 9 o'clock, and I plan. My schedules are totally planned. To plan what I'll be doing, and finding that little balance, that okay, what are the things that are meant for the weekend, what are the things that you will have to do, so allocate, and allocate your time accordingly, because and that's what it is about. Plan your time wisely, and decide what you want to do, and calendarize your priorities, and I've continued to do that. So you can see my calendar for a week planned today. So if I have to do something on a
Yeah.
Saturday, uh, how will I find that time to do? I will think about it today and plan accordingly. So it's all about planning. It's all about how you plan yourself effectively. You will find time for everything. Believe me, you'll find time for everything.
Yeah. That's good to know, because I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Also, okay, let me see, look at the other questions. What's been your single biggest challenge in this journey?
Um, I think when I started working, I think for me to move from the position of being a boss's wife to where I am as a professional has been a journey, quite a
Right,
journey. And
right.
when I took on the reins of textile, which is completely male dominated, there were people who said that, hello, does she even know what she's doing, or she's coming here to do,
Mm,
it as a hobby? So those were the things that were definitely there. And it started from there, of course. And that's where I actually worked on myself to, learn. And I've always done something in which I will also tell people that uh, be ahead of and preempt
yeah,
a lot of things yourself, and continue to learn, because that's the only way you'll be ahead of everybody, and also ahead of so that you can become kind of an inspiration for your team as well. I think it will be very, very important. So that's been my biggest one there.
yeah,
The rest, I think I can really manage, but that's been a big one for me.
yeah, yeah. And I have had a couple of people wanting you to give a message to Kool Kanya, or to say something about Kool Kanya. So I think that's going to be my last question to you. Yeah.
So
A
I
message to
think
Kool Kanya and all the Kool Kanyas out there.
Kool Kanya is such a great initiative, and I think for the communities that you are, looking at, and I think for you all guys, I think just believe in yourself, and just go ahead with the dream that you have. You guys are really weaving the magic, and I'm so proud of this initiative that you have. This is going to be a go-to platform for everybody, and also for the solutions. I think you guys are doing a fab job there. Kudos to Kool Kanya.
Thank you, thank you. That's very, very encouraging. Since we have 5 more minutes, I have one more question, which is that, do you feel do you feel more confident now than you did when you started? And but at the same time, do you feel, is there any ever a point where one feels, okay, now I've arrived, I'm confident, I can handle everything? Does that ever happen?
That can never happen, Shagun. The day that happens, your learning stops.
Yeah.
And I think your journey to learn will constantly be there till you die, till the end of your day. I mean, end of your life,
Yeah.
because you have to constantly learn. And I think it can never be a day where I'll say that I've learned everything, I've accomplished everything. It's not. It's never going to be. If somebody
Yeah.
feels like that, I don't know. It's a very you cannot.
If
It's
you,
a
if
journey, and you constantly learn and evolve.
yeah, if you feel you've arrived, you've probably not arrived.
No,
Yeah.
no, yes,
Yeah, so I think that's a good note to end on, knowing that, no matter if you, even if you're the CEO of a large business, or you're someone who's starting out, or you're somewhere in the middle, there is no arriving. There's only the journey, and all we can do is give it our best shot. So,
absolutely.
and yeah, so thank you so much. This was absolutely wonderful. It was very inspiring. Lots of, amazing things to learn from your journey. And such a fantastic journey, such an unconventional journey. So, thank you for all your sharings. Thank you for being authentic. And
Thank you for having me here. Thank you,
yes,
Shagun and the Kool
our
Kanya team.
pleasure.
You all rock, and all the best. Wish you all the best.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dipali. All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for watching, everyone. I'm sorry we couldn't answer all your questions, but I did take the ones that I felt were relevant to everyone. And if you have more, such questions, and you want advice from other women and other professional women, please join the Kool Kanya community, because it is a safe space for women to ask questions and receive guidance and have discussions. You can do that on koolkanya.com.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a
Take
good evening,
care and stay
everyone.
safe, everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.